Hi friend, if you want to learn how to use a MIDI keyboard the same way as I do, then I'll teach you. The first thing to do is to install Ableton Live. It's not difficult, you can handle it without my help. If you don't know, Ableton is a very good sequencer for creating electronic music. There is simply no better way to work with the AKAI APC KEY 25 MIDI keyboard, especially since this keyboard is sharpened specifically for Ableton. When it is connected, the pad field will adjust automatically. It's very cool. The initial version of Ableton Live must be supplied with a MIDI keyboard. This version is enough to start. A more advanced version can be purchased on the official Ableton website. We connect the MIDI keyboard to the PC with an audio interface. An audio interface is a sound card that can be purchased at any computer hardware store. Without the sound card, it will be difficult to get rid of the sound delay. The sound delay is a problem that will not allow you to play on the keyboard, because after pressing the key, the sound in your headphones is not synchronized to be heard immediately. Therefore, if you don't have an audio interface yet, make sure that you get one. You can also download and install the SEO for All sound driver from the official website. There is no 100% guarantee that everything will work as it should, but it is still an option. Let's choose an instrument. Let it be a grand piano. You can click and drag it to the field for MIDI instruments. Do not mix it up, it should be in the MIDI field. You will be needed the audio field when you start working with audio files or with a microphone. But now we will use only MIDI field. We press this button, which activates the track with the instrument. Now open the Ableton settings. We choose our MIDI keyboard and audio interface. You may notice that the sound of the piano is heard only after some time after pressing the key. This is the audio delay that I have already mentioned. If you don't have a delay, congratulations, but not 9 cases out of 100 have it. To fix it, you need to do the following. In this window you can see the value of the delay. Everyone has their different values. You need to sum up these values, then calculate how much it turned out, and in this window write the same number but with the minus sign. Now the keyboard sounds without delay. You can press the keys to make sure the sound is synchronized. Now let's move on to creating music. Ableton has two modes, session mode and arrangement mode. Session mode is necessary for looping and recording music on the fly as I do. If you haven't seen any of my videos, then don't forget to watch them. The arrangement mode is not unusual if you are familiar with other sequencers. We don't need this mode yet. Let's choose several instruments, write a loop on each one and see what happens. To do this, you need to choose the mode on the MIDI keyboard in which by pressing these keys, we will switch instruments from one to another. Let's get started. I will not use a well-known melody to avoid copyright infringement in this video. I'll just come up with the first melody I played in my life. Let's add some MIDI tracks and choose the instruments. We will put some percussion on the first track, another type of percussion on the second, some bass on the third, and grand piano on the fourth. Choose the tempo. The numeral indicates the number of beats of the metronome per minute. Turn on the metronome. Now you can hear 4 beats. The one that differs from the 3 others is the first on the track. We will start playing with this beat. To record a cycle, let's press the record button. The same button will become a playback button after we have a cycle recorded. You need to press the record button before you hear the first beat of the metronome. Then press the same button to finish recording, and to start playback, we also have to press it earlier than we hear the first beat of the next bar. Let's start with the drums. Now let's write down the hi-hat. To do this, choose the second track with percussion. You can do this using the mouse, but what for we have an AKAI. Do the same with the third instrument and the fourth instrument. Now all four instruments are playing together. By clicking on any button of the vertical field of the instrument, you will turn off the playback cycle of the instrument. To turn on the recording, you need to click on the button containing the record. This way you can combine tracks, turn them on and off. After clicking on this button, all tracks will stop at the same time. When you've learned the session mode and will be able to record loops easily, sooner or later you might wish to make a full-fledged track. The arrangement mode will help you with this. To record a track, simply click on the red track recording button, then turn on our cycles. We enter the arrangement mode and make sure that the cycles are written to the track. Stopping the recording. The cycles were recorded, and now we have a track. To listen to the recording, click on this button, then on the play button. When you get used to quickly switching between instruments, you will be able to record track on the fly as in my videos. To do this, first you need to click on the track recording button and then record the cycles. I'll tell you a little about the Ableton functions that may be useful to you. By clicking on this button you can turn off any track. This is solo button. After clicking on it, the selected track becomes the only one that can be heard. This is the volume slider. These siren chords using which you can change the sound parameters. Tracks can be swapped by simply dragging them. You can even change the color of the title. This field contains the settings of the chosen instrument. For example, for grand piano you can change the bright, hardness, attack and something else. Do not hesitate to adjust all these settings. Any change can be cancelled by pressing Ctrl+Z. First we save the project. Then we save the track in the WAV or MP3. We select the borders of the track, highlight it. Go to the File menu, choose Export Media Content, set these settings. Why I may explain later. To avoid a lengthy video, just believe that it is necessary. Click OK, done. If this video was useful for you or my accent make you laugh, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, click on the bell, leave a comment like thank you man or something else, and check out some of my videos. I'll see you again.